Welcome guys to Team Babenko MMA channel. In today's video we'll speak about the main event of UFC 283, which is Glover Teixeira versus Jamahal. Watch our video till the end, like it, and of course write in comments which topics you would like us to cover in the next videos. How did this happen that there is another title fight for the light heavyweight title at UFC 283? What happened? Actually, Magomed Ankalaev fought Jan Blachowicz on the previous UFC, on the UFC 282 in the main event, and they fought for the light heavyweight title. And the situation there was really weird, since firstly, it was Glover Teixeira versus Iri Prochazka who were scheduled to fight. However, Iri Prochazka, the champ at that moment, who took the belt from Glover Teixeira during the previous year, injured his shoulder, and for this reason he was not able to step into the fight. For this reason, Glover Teixeira was offered a fight against Magomed Ankalaev on UFC 282 for the vacant title, but Glover Teixeira decided that is not the fight that he's gonna to accept, since Magomed Ankalaev is a very difficult opponent, and for this reason he said that either he fights Jan Blachowicz or he won't fight at UFC 282 at all. And what happened? UFC scheduled Magomed Ankalaev versus Jan Blachowicz for the light heavyweight title. They fought, and it was a split draw. So no champion was found that day, and for this reason the title still stayed vacant. And Dana White and all of the UFC bosses were not impressed about how the fight between Ankalaev and Blachowicz went, and for this reason they decided to schedule another main event for the light heavyweight title, and for this reason Glover Teixeira is fighting Jamahal in Brazil at the UFC 283. That's a kind of introduction, since we needed to know why this happened. And talking about the fight itself, I think that it's the best chance of Jamahal to become the champ, really. I think that it's the moment for him. If he once becomes the champ, it will be today. Well, I mean, this is his best chance. In his last fight, he fought against Thiago Santos. He defeated him, and in my opinion, Jamahal really has problem with wrestling, and he has problem with grappling. However, he's good in the stance, but in my opinion, his stance is a bit too wide, and he's standing in the southpaw stance, and his legs are not standing like this, they're way too wide. And for this reason, he will be vulnerable for Glover Teixeira's left hook and then a single leg. Definitely, he will be vulnerable for it. And there are several scenarios how the fight may go. And the first scenario is that Jamahal will try to fight the fight like Alexander Gustafsson did. So he will stay at the distance, use his boxing, won't use many kicks, because during his kicks he may be taken down, and for this reason he will be using his boxing. His boxing is good, and if he will be able to fight the fight like this, it will be okay. It will be really okay for him, since in the first several rounds, Glover Teixeira is old. However, he's very experienced. He has no problems with stamina. However, he has problems with speed, because of his age. And for this reason, he has problems. He had problems with Anthony Smith. He had problems with Iri Prochazka. He had problems with Alexander Gustafsson, based on their speed, because all of them at the beginning of the fight were able to use their boxing against hits, and he was punched in the face. And I think this is something that may happen in the fight against Jamahal, and this is really possible. So if I were in Jamal's place, I would recommend him to stay in the distance, to use boxing, and instead of backing to the fence, to move sideways all the time. This is the way to win Glover Teixeira, because otherwise, I think most likely at the beginning of the fight, Jamahal will be whooping Glover Teixeira's ass. However, in spite of being punched in the face really hard, Glover Teixeira is a really tough guy, and he will hold his hands high, moving like this, trying to press his opponent, And starting from some moment, Jamahal Hill will start tiring, since he's not like a stamina monster, really. In his previous fights, he had a lot of problems with stamina. And for this reason, starting from some moment, Glover Teixeira will have actually two options. First, he may initiate clinch, and in the clinch, he will be able to wear his opponent and to try to take him down. This is a legit option. And the second option is left hook accompanied by a single leg. This will also work most likely, since Jamahal Hill doesn't have a great takedown defense. He's not a wrestler, and for this reason this may work for Glover Teixeira. And when they land on the ground, if Glover Teixeira will be above his opponent, then most likely he will, go for some punching, then holding controlling once again, then punching, control, and step by step he will find himself either in the mount, where he will be able to go for arm triangle, or he will take the back and go for mataleo. This is most likely what happens if Jamahal Hill won't be really cautious and moving all the time. And when I mean all the time, I mean literally all the time, since if he stands in one place, then Glover Teixeira will be able to push forward. And really, don't you underestimate Glover Teixeira. Really, he's been underdog in many fights. However, in most of those fights, he was able to scramble back. Really, he's pretty good, and we have to appreciate his skills. And I think that this is something that may happen, that actually Glover Teixeira will be able to win this fight. I mean, on the paper, Jamahal Hill is a favorite, since being younger, he has great shots. Really, he has great punches, and I think that with one of those punches, he may knock out Glover Teixeira. This is a legit option. However, I don't kind of agree that he is a favorite in this fight. In my opinion, Glover Teixeira most likely will be able to initiate clinch and then to take Jamahal Hill down, and then Jamahal Hill will face a real problem. However, I don't know how that fight will finish. Anyway, there are several options we've discussed today. Thank you guys for watching this video. Subscribe to Team Babenko MMA channel, like our videos, and of course share this video with your friends. Thank you.